What was the most memorable World Cup in your life? I'll start. United States, 1994. A kid full of dreams watched his country stop to witness what would become the greatest World Cup of all time. Right from the opening ceremony, the hosts showed they meant business. Diana Ross's iconic show, even missing a staged penalty kick with the goal falling apart. How can we forget Romanian Raj's stunning goal against Colombia, or Balboa's beautiful bicycle kick in the USA versus Colombia match? That game was full of surprises, both good and bad. The USA's first World Cup win, leading to Colombia's early exit. Who can forget Romario speeding past two Cameroonians and chipping the keeper? The Russian Solenko became the Cup's top scorer with 6 goals, 5 against Cameroon alone, setting a record for most goals in a single match. This record stands to this day. In that same game, another record was set that will likely remain unbeaten. Cameroonian legend Roger Milla became the oldest player to score in a World Cup. A nod to Martin Dahlin's great header for Sweden, who'd become one of the Cup's sensations. Romario's clutch goal for Brazil's hard-fought draw against a strong Swedish team. The mighty Germany, defending champions, playing their first Cup after reunification, winning with a Klinsmann goal against debutants Bolivia. The Spain-Bolivia match marked by Pep Guardiola's goal, Bolivia's only World Cup goal ever. Klinsmann's comeback against South Korea, debutant Nigeria led by Amokachi steamrolling a hopeful Bulgaria, or the legendary Maradona wildly celebrating his stunning goal against Greece, or Carney's clone Diego scoring his and Argentina's second goal against Nigeria, which would be Maradona's final World Cup victory. We'll never forget the iconic scene of Maradona leaving the field hand in hand with the American nurse during the Nigeria game due to doping concerns. One of the most iconic scenes in world football history, or 3-time champion Italy, the eventual runners-up losing their opener to Ireland. Who can forget Italy beating Norway with 10 men, Dino Baggio's goal saving them from an early exit, or the tightest group in World Cup history, all tied with Italy and Ireland advancing by just 1 goal over Norway. Who can forget Belgium's Prud'homme, voted best keeper, beating Holland in his debut? Or the Cup's most beautiful goal, Alderweireld's run from midfield past Belgium's defence, stopped only by Prud'homme's net. Until we'll never forget. An own goal, elimination, and suddenly gunshots. Andres Escobar, 27, top Colombian defender, returns home after his team's first-round exit. 12 shots coldly narrated with cries of goal. Andres Escobar is brutally murdered by a Medellin cartel on orders from crime bosses. Undoubtedly the costliest own goal in world football history. On the field, as it should be, the US qualifies for the round of 16 for the first time, eliminating Colombia. July 4th, American Independence Day. We'll never forget the celebration, the scorching heat, Leonardo's elbow, Brazil's struggle, and Romario's genius start. Bebeto gets the damn ball, breaking through the defense. Brazil's qualification was more than hard-earned. We'll always remember Dimitrescu's stunner against Argentina, and Maradona watching his team fall to Romania. Germany's legends Voller and Klinsmann dominating Belgium's Prud'homme. Bulgaria's legendary Stoichkov advancing on penalties against Mexico's iconic shortkeeper Jorge Campos. How can we forget Nigeria's upset, beating Italy until the 87th minute, when Baggio finally resurfaces in the World Cup? Like Paolo Rossi in '82, he takes the lead, showing why he was the world's best until then. 2 goals in 20 minutes, including extra time and a penalty, which would mark him for life at the end of this competition. The qualification for the quarterfinals was secured. Let's recall Romario's fancy footwork, Bebeto's cradle rocking, and the rocket against the Dutch in the quarters, with Spain's Luis Enrique bloodied by Tassotti's elbow. Bebeto deciding again late in the game against Spain. And who can forget Bulgarian Lechkov's header versus Germany, ousting the champs in an epic comeback? We'll always remember Sweden's set piece versus Romania, ending with Brolin's stunning goal. 2 Cup surprises played a thrilling match, 1 goal each in regular time, 2 more in extra time. Sweden advanced on penalties thanks to one of the Cup's best keepers, the impressive Thomas Ravelli. How can we forget 𝐵𝒗a's 2 stunning goals in 15 minutes against surprising Bulgaria? Unlike the entire Cup, Italy attacks early and kills the game right from the start. Then, at the end of the first half, a penalty for Bulgaria. Stoichkov converts. This forces the Italian team to return to their defensive roots. They retreat, invite Bulgaria forward, and spend the entire second half defending. In the end, Italy reaches their first final in 12 years. How thrilling to see Brazil's team with Italy at the hotel before the Sweden semi-final. Even 30 years later, we still root for Romario's shot to go in. After beating 2 Swedes and the keeper, he gives a subtle touch. A Swedish defender appears from nowhere to clear the ball, making us even angrier at Mazinho, who blasts the rebound high and wide. How can we not rewatch Brazil's missed chances and go mad? Probably the game where Brazil created the most chances in this World Cup. As time passed, nervousness gripped a boy and his family, just like the rest of Brazil. Who can forget Romario's iconic header, unexpectedly rising among the tall Swedish defenders? We'll always remember Romario waving Brazil's flag, jubilantly celebrating the final qualification after 24 hours. I remember the third-place match as if it were yesterday, a beautiful game. A great match between 2 of the World Cup's 3 biggest surprises, with the Bulgarian team led by Stojkovic finishing 4th after being thrashed by the Swedish side, including a fantastic goal from the dreadlock Larsson. July 17th, 1994. I remember it like yesterday. The place, the atmosphere, most people there since there were so many, the smell, the nerves, the tension. It's amazing how life throws so many tough situations at us, but also good, great, excellent ones, and often even epic moments. That boy, clueless about his future, seeks a quiet spot, or at least less noisy, to watch the game. Isn't it something? It all etches in our minds 30 years later, coming back so vividly it feels like yesterday, or rather like today, or even happening right now, this very moment, on this exact day, at this hour, this very minute, this second, this very instant. I can almost see myself in my aunt's living room in front of a big tube TV with 7 or 8 others in the same room, while about 50 people were in the backyard. Yelling, chatter, drinking, typical Italian family party, you know? The quiet atmosphere feels like a carnival compared to the tension. Eyes glued to the TV, not wanting to miss a second of this epic final. Watching intently, seeing the players in the tunnel exchange looks of respect. A scene of mutual admiration, foreshadowing the intense match to come. The whistle blows, and the game begins. Brazil attacks less than against Sweden, understandably so. After 24 years facing Italy's legends,
Baresi, Maldini, Costa Curta, Dino Baggio, Pagliuca, Massaro, Donadoni.
Brazil plays more cautiously. Under the scorching California midday sun, in peak summer heat, it's clear the US can organize but doesn't grasp soccer's nuances. Brazil creates more chances but fails to capitalize on them. On the other side, a battered Italy, with Baresi returning after 21 days from knee surgery during the World Cup. Baggio, unfit to play in the Cup, drags himself through the game. Yet they gave everything they could in that match. Baresi held off the powerful Brazilian attack as long as he could. Of the 3 good Italian chances, Baggio created 2. How can we forget Viola, a striker many thought shouldn't even be at the World Cup, who came on in extra time second half, challenging the Italians with such determination and conviction that he motivated and even intimidated many players on the field. Mauro Silva once commented, "We're on the field, exhausted, in extra time, hellish heat." Then Viola comes in full of courage, taking on the Italians. At one point we even thought, damn, Viola might score the winning goal. And don't forget Cafu's 1-2 with Bebeto, crossing low to Romario, who beats Maldini but misses the goal. At that moment, I and all of Brazil shouted, "Goal!" Certainly the most glaring miss in the little guy's illustrious career. In one of the last plays, Baggio cleverly combines with Assar, but his physical condition leaves him without strength to finish properly, and then extra time ends. The first time ever, a World Cup would be decided by penalties. Picture someone in Brazil, Italy, Japan, Africa, Europe, Asia, basically all around the world. Everyone was glued to their TV screens watching a stadium packed with over 94,000 people, focused on 9 players crossing the field, ball in hand, to face the goalkeepers and decide a World Cup. And so the agony begins. That kid I mentioned was literally stuck to the TV. He was so close he blocked others' view in the room. And Henrique was quite skinny for that. The penalties start. How can we forget Baresi skiing it worse than Baggio first? Or Marcio Santos, our best in practice, hitting the keeper's hands. Albertini, who'd miss a penalty for Milan against France in '98, scores for Italy, breaking the deadlock. Romario, not a penalty specialist, steps up to take the responsibility. He converts, sending the keeper the wrong way. Italian Ivani shoots down the middle to commentator Galvao's dismay. The right back, a veteran from '83, decides to change his approach at the last moment. Instead of his typical power shot, he opts to place it, aiming for the left corner. Amidst intense pressure and scorching heat, goalkeeper Taffarel's brilliance shines through. Rather than guessing, he stays calm, breathes deeply, and focuses intently. He waits for the striker to choose a side, then reacts to the ball. With that, Massaro, the striker who won the '82 World Cup with Italy, misses badly, failing to secure a second title. Brazil ties it 2-2 with a chance to take the lead. Dunga, fulfilling his role as captain, executes the penalty perfectly. Brazil takes the lead in the shootout. Now it's all up to Taffarel's hands or Baggio's feet. I remember staring at the TV, certain it was over. Brazil would become 4-time world champions. Ironically, it would end with one of the players I'd followed most in my childhood. Baggio, one of the best I've seen play, got Italy to the '94 World Cup final. He missed only 3 penalties in his entire career. He shoots over Taffarel's goal. Fate was cruel to Baggio. In the same tournament, he scored a penalty against Nigeria in extra time. He aimed for the same spot against Taffarel, shooting low to the keeper's right. Baggio later said the ball's upward trajectory might have been Senna's doing. Italians never blamed Baggio for the missed penalty. Quite the opposite. Baggio is beloved and revered throughout Italy. Even in Brazil, not just for giving them their 4th title, but as a fan of Senna and Brazilian football, he's respected in the country that caused his worst defeat. The truth is, we'll never forget. Brazil, 4-time world champions. Winning a World Cup changes everything, not just for players and staff, but for the entire nation. It brings new hope to the people. Though not on the field, people feel part of the journey, the struggle, and the triumph. Brazil, despite its potential and hard-working people, has never been a first world country. The 80s and early 90s were tough for Brazilians. High inflation, unemployment, savings seized, impeached president, economic changes brought uncertainty. Many were unsure about the future. Then, a month before the World Cup, a crash, the nation was devastated. We lost one of our greatest icons. Certainly, winning the '94 World Cup meant far more than other titles, beyond football, beyond just a sport. The 4th championship signaled Brazil's global resurgence, restoring confidence and self-esteem that had been badly shaken. A country rich in resources, producing much, yet the people see little benefit in return. A nation plagued by corruption and criminals, which sadly persists to this day, found in a national team in a World Cup an escape valve, a joy, a feeling of happiness that had long been extinguished. That team, which many called defensive and unattractive, supposedly had no chance of winning. Interestingly, Europeans said just the opposite. Yes, my friends, this World Cup changed many lives, including that of a tall, skinny boy for his age, glued to the tube TV in a room more crowded than usual but less so than the yard, suddenly ran towards it. Amid the vibrant cheers, euphoria, and emotional tears, he began to grasp what football and sport truly meant. We'll face tough times in life, often incomprehensible and surreal. But you'll have the discipline, passion, understanding, learning, and persistence gained from sports over the years to continue your challenging journey. Football may change lives, but sport, our sport, saves lives.